What's going on? It's Friday. Ryan Fagan's here on Card Central 365, powered by Gray Bar here on STL Sports Central. All content brought to you by DraftKings. The crown is yours. Ryan, it's a day with no baseball, but after the last three, no complaints here with taking a day off, recovering from everything that we saw. The past 3 days, that's what the wild card round I think was envisioned to be.
That's what it should be. You have the tension. That's what we love about October. It's tension, right? And tension in game one is one thing, and game two is another thing. But you get like a winner take all type of tension, and it's just a lot of fun. And to get three of them in one day was that was almost best case scenario.
Where heroes are made in October, and it's just another round to do it. I know. Kind of a manufactured, okay, let's keep adding teams. Let's keep adding to the suspense and to the build. Everybody gets in, more revenue, all that. But again, I mean, it was winner take all yesterday. Yankees, Schlitter, Schlitter goes in 8 innings and 12 strikeouts in that. Fourth most all time for a rookie in a postseason game. And just, I mean, absolutely lights out for a name that a lot of people probably were not familiar with at all, and me included.
I think in every single playoff prediction type of column I've ever written, when they say what is our interview I've ever done is what's your favorite part of October? That's it.
Yeah,
it's the guys that you had no idea. Like most of baseball had no idea who these people are, and all of a sudden they step up in the moment, and it could be like Cam did. In game 3 and throws this great long extended. It can be pinch hitting and coming up with the game-winning hit, or coming up with a big double in the 7th inning, or coming up with a diving catch down the line that saves a season for a team. I mean, those are the types of things that just that's the best. That's the best part about.
And more October. So, I mean, what we've seen recently, at least in the last decade, you're seeing rookies making their major league debuts in October.
I remember
Chase DeLauder again. I mean, it's one of the where I'm watching this yesterday. He drops the fly ball in game 2, and the Guardians don't advance, so the big story isn't there. But still, to get his first career major league hit in a playoff game in his first career start, which happened to be in a playoff game. And you do get that, like I'm sitting there watching it yesterday. Because again, like we've gone, like the Cardinals were tied with the Reds with a week left in the season. The crazier things could have happened, but you kind of look at that and you go, would Weatherhold have been on the Cardinals playoff roster?
I hadn't even thought about that, but actually
that was like one of the first thoughts when I watched him get that hit yesterday. And I saw that, I was like, you look at the Cardinals roster and just kind of the island of misfit toys they had on their bench towards the end of the year and the guys they played, and you kind of look at it and you're like,
especially
Weatherhold, they would have been forced to put Weatherhold on,
especially
with
roster. What he did and participating in the playoffs, right? So he's coming off of a play, and I guarantee you, I know there aren't as many eyeballs on minor league playoffs, but I guarantee it means it's just as much to them.
Oh yeah,
with the same type of pressure, and that's fast. I mean, honestly, with the state of their offense, I think they would have had to at least given serious consideration to putting him on there. And that would have been kind of fascinating.
Right. I don't know. That doesn't work. That doesn't count towards any kind of service time or anything. Right.
No.
So there's no way you could have sat there and justified that he was not better than 3 of the guys they probably would have had on the bench.
Yeah. We would have given better bats, better swings, not have been moved by the moment. And plus, I mean, and that's the thing for DeLauder, and I remember Mondesi, Alberto Mondesi, was the first one to make his debut, I believe, in the postseason. But you're giving them that experience, right? You're giving them that chance to not just see the bigs, not just see how it operates, but see on the biggest stage without a ton being asked of you. It would have been a great opportunity. And I bet you talk to DeLauder next spring, ask him what does that mean to him, and it's going to be kind of, I mean, with him, the biggest thing is staying healthy, right? The kid's got a lot of power, but he's never been able to stay healthy. Going back as far as you want to go. But he'll tell you that meant a lot. And that was that kind of stepping stone. It wouldn't surprise me at all to see him have a good start to his official rookie year.
Yeah. So we are now on to the ALDS and the NLDS, and we will preview a few of those matchups, a few of the intriguing storylines in that one. And as you're watching the games, remember that, hey, it's almost here, 2 months away before you folks in Missouri can get the DraftKings Sportsbook app, America's top-rated sportsbook app, and it's coming soon to the Show Me State. But you can sign up today. New Missouri customers get $300 in bonus bets when we launch on December 1st. Download now and place a $5 bet when we go live. Live in-game betting, lightning fast payouts, endless ways to get in on the action, trusted by millions with safe, secure, and fast money withdrawals. You can download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use STL Sports as the code. That's STL Sports, and grab $300 in bonus bets with just a $5 bet when we go live on December 1st. That's code STL Sports in partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus, physically present in Missouri. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Excludes customers who redeem pre-launch sign-up offer. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. So as we look ahead, 3 of these 4 matchups we have never ever seen before in the postseason.
It's fantastic.
That's so there, no, we won't see any 80s flashbacks of any of these or any. we won't see that, but we will see one. And let's start with the one that is, it's 2 huge cities, it's 2 huge markets, and it's a hell of a lot of stars. Let's start with the Dodgers and the Phillies in the ALDS, and that from the start. I mean, from the very beginning, you have one hell of a pitching matchup in that.
Yeah, you really do. And when you're looking at, Christopher Sanchez has kind of been this guy with the Phillies. He was behind Zach Wheeler. He was behind Aaron Nola. I mean, even Ranger Suarez to an extent. He was kind of that piece of the back of the rotation that you weren't quite sure what you were going to get out of him, but you knew he was going to give you the chance to get 6 solid innings this year. Which is especially important with Zach Wheeler out and Aaron Nola being out for a long time, struggling when he came back. Sanchez stepped up and he was the ace they needed. He's had a fantastic year. He's got stuff that he gets swings and misses with the best of them in baseball. And he's going up against in the pitching matchup against Shohei Ohtani, which we all know about Ohtani. The Dodgers built him very slowly.
Yeah,
they didn't let him pitch probably a month or 2 after he could have. And even then, when they had him starting games, it was going 2 innings, 3 innings, and then getting him out of there. We saw in the last 2 starts of the regular season, 5 innings in one, 6 innings in the other. Didn't allow a run in either of them.
Right.
And that's the thing about the Dodgers. It's been a trying season for the Dodgers, but they're healthy, right? I know their bullpen's kind of still a mess, but they're healthy because Yamamoto has been throwing as well as ever. They have Ohtani back. They have Tyler Glasnow back. Clayton Kershaw in his last year. He's going to at least want to step up in the big moments when he gets an opportunity. So, I mean, they're healthy as they've been all year. And, I mean, I know they finished with only 93 wins, but, man, this team's going to be tough to beat.
And they have the momentum on their side, too, which we have seen in the past of these teams that have to take this week off. We saw the fun inter-squad games that these teams put on for their hometown fans. And did that the Dodgers
really drew 30-something
31,000.
That's awesome.
For that. And yeah, that is a place. The Citizens Bank is just going to be rocking.
It's so much fun to watch a pro season game there.
It is.
It's just fantastic.
And so you get that you get these 2 franchises now. And again, Dodgers started the season as the World Series favorites.
Yeah.
And of the 4 wild card rounds, that one went exactly as expected. With
great for Cincinnati to be there.
Right. Hey, Reds, you were a hell of a story. Way to squeak in there on the last day. You made a hell of a lot of storylines for the Mets falling apart.
Yeah.
All right. See you later.
And they didn't just roll over, but the better team.
You could tell, of all of the teams that were in the postseason, they belonged the least, and they kind of proved it.
Still
quickly.
belong more than Mets, though.
They
but I know what you're saying.
So they didn't have to. I don't think there was much of a sweat. We see in the postseason so much of managers the quick hooks and going out there. Hey, we're just gonna hand it over to our bullpen. We'll figure out tomorrow. Right now, we just need, you know what? Hey, you got me 3 outs. I need somebody to get, in terms of the Padres yesterday, you got me 3 outs. I need some. Okay, Darvish, you're not getting me to 4 outs. Let's go from there. I'll figure out the next 24 outs after this. We'll take it one at a time. With a guy like Shohei, it is interesting just because, when you go out there and you take him out of the game, he still has to go hit. Like, it's one of those where we haven't seen, the whole mental side. We haven't really seen him. I'm trying to think of a time he's gotten like blown up in a start to where he's had to be pulled early in a game.
It happened a couple of years ago where he didn't make it. I forget who was against, but he didn't make it out of the first inning.
But we're talking postseason though, where, this isn't, hey, you Darvish yesterday. Hey, we're taking out bases loaded in the second inning. You just have to go sit and watch it the rest of the time. Like Shohei, you still have to go contribute.
Yeah, I don't think that's a problem for him.
It doesn't seem like it has been, but again, we have not seen, like we saw Shohei the DH last year in the postseason. We never saw Shohei in the postseason before then. Now you're getting a different side of him pitching Saturday.
Just from what we've seen out of him in his career, though, I mean, if he were to get blown up in the first and be out by the second inning, I would not be at all surprised to see him hit a home run in the fourth. Just like use that as motivation. And like he's a different cat, man. Just being around him the little bit that I have and talking to people who have been around him, he just approaches things differently. He internalizes stuff. He's able to let the bad thing be bad and okay, what's going to be good next. And yeah, I mean, that's something. If he were to get knocked out quickly in a game, I would be at all surprised to see him come up with a big hit late in the game.
If Paul Skeens didn't exist, is Christian Sanchez your Cy Young in the NL this year?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I mean, you can make an argument that he is anyway. I don't think he'd win it, but I think he can make it. Yeah, no, he's been phenomenal. He's been he should get votes. I would be actually surprised if he doesn't get a couple of votes in first place. He's been that good. He's always been kind of that potentially good, and Phillies fans have loved what he has for years. The fact that he was able to, like I said, step up in a season where Zach Wheeler has been gone for a while now, right? And that's kind of one of those things. When he went down, I thought to myself, well, Philly's not going to win again this year, because he's been their best pitcher in the postseason. He is everything you would want out of a postseason ace, and to have him out of there, and then to have Sanchez step up the way he did, he's just been phenomenal.
Let's stick in the NL with this preview. Cubs Brewers. I said from the beginning of the playoffs, I said the winner of the Cubs Padres series would go to the NLCS. I felt like they would easily go through that. After watching that series though between the Cubs and the Padres and seeing just how beat up the Cubs pitching staff is, extending it to a longer series and not knowing the availability of some of those starting pitchers right now, I do kind of take that back a little bit. I'm not quite sure how this one plays out, but right now the Cubs have the momentum, and I am really, when it's a regular season game between Cubs and Brewers up in Milwaukee, there are a hell of a lot of Cubs fans up there that make the trip up north to go watch that.
I mean, to be fair, there are a lot of Cubs fans everywhere, though.
Right. But it's Wrigley North. Up there. And I wonder how that changes in a playoff series.
There will still be the fans there.
Right. But not 80%. Yeah. Like you would get on in a series in July.
But this Milwaukee team's different. I think they are than Milwaukee teams in the past, and kind of like what you said about the Cubs. Like the Cubs they've got you talked about quick hooks earlier. There's nobody with a quicker hook than Craig Counsell.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. I mean, they talk about Matt Boyd in the first game, and he was cruising. The third inning, fourth inning.
He's been to start the second game with Kittredge, knowing that
they've got good relievers, but they don't have a ton of them. Like you said, it's one thing in a 3-game series where like, let's get through these 3 games, right? But if you got a longer series, it's a different animal. And I think when you look at
you have the ability in a longer series, like to eat a game too. Like you have the ability to kind of concede a loss. Like again, if let's go back to Darvish yesterday in game 3. Like if that's game 2 of a 7-game series, you might just kind of let him roll through there, and you say, hey, you know what? If you can't get out of this and we give up 5 runs this inning, this is a loss. Right?
Yeah, I see that. I still think when you look at Freddie Peralta, I mean he's the best starting pitcher in this series. I mean, now if Cade Horton was healthy with the Cubs, I mean, you look at Cade Horton's numbers down the stretch.
Yeah, down the stretch.
Like dozen starts, he had an ERA like Arrieta-esque, like it was like barely over 1. If he was there, that'd be a different conversation. But you have him, I mean, and then you've got just so many guys in the Milwaukee rotation that I feel like would welcome the chance to step into the bullpen if need be. And they've got a pretty strong bullpen as well. So I just think they're better suited. And then when you look at the lineup, they have guys that, a couple of guys strike out a lot, but most they have guys that are going to work counts. They're going to do these. And I think in a series against a team like the Phillies or the Dodgers, they'd have a tougher time. But I think they're very well set up to handle a Cubs team that is very much a known entity in this scenario.
Shockingly enough, being in the division and Freddie Peralta being around as long as he has, I'm seeing here only one. Dansby Swanson is the only Cub that has ever had a single at bat against Freddie Peralta.
No, that can't be.
I'm looking. I'm just going off of what MLB Game Day is. Maybe they switch it over to postseason matchups with this. If that's the case, okay. Then I was going to say, because that makes no sense to me that none of these guys ever would have faced Freddie Peralta before. So MLB,
he started 4 times against him this year.
Okay,
so
4 times. Okay, this is what MLB Game Day gives you. This is
it's got to be postseason.
I was gonna say that did not seem right at all.
He did pretty well. 3.43 ERA in the four starts, 22 strikeouts in 21 innings. He's another guy. Like his career had kind of maybe a similar path to Christopher Sanchez, like we talked about, because he was that guy that had the nasty stuff that was below in the rotation behind Corbin Burns and Brandon Woodruff and all these other guys. And then when given the opportunity, really stepped up. And that's kind of what he's done, last year, but especially this year, kind of become that legitimate ace.
No Cubs starter announced yet. As we said, they're kind of still figuring out who's healthy and what the health of Cade Horton looks like. I think, were they expecting him this round, or were they saying NLCS?
Probably NLCS, but I don't think they'd officially ruled it out. Right. But he definitely wasn't going to be around the opening round. Yeah, and I haven't seen an update since then.
Card Central 365 brought to you by Gray Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs. Also, AEW Wrestle Dream coming to St. Louis on Saturday, October 18th. AEW, All Elite Wrestling, bringing Wrestle Dream to the Chaffetz Arena in St. Louis for the first time ever on Saturday, October 18th. Tickets on sale now at AEW Tix, AEWTIX.com. And we'll be giving some tickets away for that prior to the event. Moving over to the American League, and Yankees and Blue Jays will start there with those. Aaron Boone.
Yeah.
If they would have lost yesterday to the Red Sox, he's without a job today, correct?
I mean, maybe, but how many times have we thought that about?
But I mean, to not make it past, like, that has to be, to not make it out of the wild card round, that has to be enough, right?
Again, like if I had a dollar for every time.
Last year, there were talks of him being fired if they lost in the World Series. So if you lose in the wild card round, like, you have to be done.
I think so, but a lot of things happened this year in the way that they played down the stretch in the second half to get to the point where they have created expectations again. Because, I mean, there was a time this year, when it was the Aaron Judge show, right? And if it wasn't Aaron Judge producing, they were doing nothing. The bullpen fell apart, and all these different things. And, you can choose to assign blame to the managers to a certain degree. And it's a fun conversation to have because there's no right answer. There's no wrong answer. He's absorbed a lot of that. And the fact that he's still stuck around means that Brian Cashman, the decision maker, and the Steinbrenner kids, they like Aaron Boone in that role. So yeah, you could definitely see a scenario where if they lose at home to the Red Sox, that's it.
So is he safe now?
No, that's the thing. He's not. I don't think he is. I think the the Yankees decision makers have a lot that are going into this decision that has nothing to do with the postseason. I think the only way that Aaron Boone is 100% safe is if they win the World Series, which they're not doing with that bullpen, by the way. But I think that's the only way he's fully safe. But I also not saying he's going to get fired if they get swept out of this round.
I mean, it's one thing. I mean, I think too, what would have played into that wild card round would have been losing to the Red Sox
at home. Yeah, no, I get that.
That would have been. So now, like, you're going up against the number 1 seed in the American League, a team though from your division, but you just don't hate them like you hate the Red Sox. So there is a little more, I guess, an excuse, if you will, with that. But again, no starting pitcher announced yet for the Yankees in Game 1. Kevin Gausman, 10-11 on the season, a 3.59 ERA for the Blue Jays has been announced in Game 1 of that. I have not seen any Game 2 starters for any of these American League series either.
No, I think they try to hold that as close to the best as they can.
You still kind of, I mean, you
can guess. I mean, it's probably gonna be Chris Bassett,
right,
for the Jays and for the Red Sox.
Yankees, they kind of Yankees they kind of reset and go back to the beginning of their rotation. That's about Max Fried and Rodon and
I'll be honest, like I look at all of the division winners and I feel like I have a hard time believing in the Jays, believing in what they are and what they can be. I feel like, I mean, and they got one of the top 2 seeds. Like, they've been solid. They've been good. I'm just not sure how well that translates. They feel like, to me, kind of like some of those Milwaukee teams over the past. And again, I think this Milwaukee team is different, but they've got a solid club. And when they go up against a team that has exceptional players, they're going to be overmatched. That said, I'm not sure that exceptional team exists in the AL. You know, I think that, because Gausman's good, Bassett's good. You know, Max Scherzer's coming. He hasn't been what they wanted to. Bowden Francis is a guy that had a lot of potential a couple years ago, and he hasn't had a good year. Their closer, Jeff Hoffman, has a 4.3 ERA, and it's not like it's just a fluke and all of his other peripherals are good. I mean, his fielding independent pitching is almost 5. Like, so that's the guy you have in the back end of the bullpen. And, you know, you look at those fielding independent pitching numbers for the Jays bullpen, is 4.9, 4.4, 3.9. You know, I mean, it's not great. And they've got a couple of guys who've been good. You know, Brendan Little's been good. Braden Frazier's been good. But I don't know that I believe in this team. And I'd love to be proven wrong, because that's another fun thing about postseason, is being proven wrong. I still not believe that they're going to get out of there.
Right now, via DraftKings, they have the Toronto Blue Jays, the number 1 seed in the American League. They have them with the 2nd worst odds to win the World Series.
There you go.
They are a plus 850 right now to win the World Series.
I guess I'm not the only one that thinks that.
7 out of 8 for that. Tigers have the worst odds of winning the World Series. They're at a plus 950 with that, as they get set to head to Seattle for that series. No pitchers announced on either side for that one. Seattle hasn't announced their starter for Game 1.
Yeah,
Tigers,
a lot of options.
Tigers, I assume, probably really, really, really want to start Skubal in Game 1, are trying to come up with a reason to be talked out of it right now.
Because it'd be
trying to, do you go in there saying, okay, if we steal Game 1, then we have Skubal for Game 2 and we go back?
Yeah, and I think they kind of have to. They kind of have to wait on him.
If they had the day off Sunday, does that make a difference to that? Because that's how it works. So Sunday, the American League, so all 4 games are on Saturday. Sunday are the American League games. Monday is the National League Game 2.
Oh yeah, if there was an extra day.
I wonder if that would have affected that decision at all.
Yeah, but I mean, I think when you look at the Tigers, when we talk about the exceptional that some of these teams lack, I mean, they have the exceptional in Tarik Skubal, right? You know, Jack Flaherty was fine. I think a guy like Tyler Holton is kind of that that guy who can come in there and get you innings, who can get you 3 or 4 innings and strike out a bunch of guys. And I just, you wonder about their offense, right? I mean, are they going to produce enough? You know, Riley Green's, I'm a big fan of Riley Green. He still strikes out a lot. They've got all the swing and miss in there. Seattle feels like if there's a team of destiny, this ambiguous term we like to talk about this month, Seattle feels like it.
It's going to be. When's the last time we saw October baseball in Seattle?
They had a couple years ago. They've had a couple lately, but never deep into it. And they've never been to a World Series.
Yeah. I'm wondering, like, that's such a fun team to watch hit.
Yeah.
The offensive power that they have up and down that lineup. And MVP voting does not count in the postseason. Those votes are in. Like those. Yeah. When did you have a vote on anything this year?
I didn't vote this year.
Okay,
but you have to have it in before the first pitch.
Okay, so postseason. Did you have anything this year?
No.
Okay, so that's what I mean. Cal Raleigh be a whole lot of fun to watch him put on a show.
Yeah. Well, fun. and you talk about which playoff rotations are set up to have a deep run, because we talk about the Cubs are like, okay, who can we get 4 innings out of, right? Essentially. And can we get more than 2 innings in the games where we don't have a starter? And some of these other clubs are like that too. Whereas you have the Mariners and, Brian Woo's been fantastic. Luis Castillo has big game experience. Logan Gilbert's been fantastic. George Kirby's healthy. Bryce Miller's healthy. They've got all of these guys lined up where they could just kind of set the rotation. If they knew they were getting through the World Series, they could set up, okay, here's who we're starting every single day for the rest of this month with full rest, without much of a drop in production. And I don't think there's any other team that has that luxury. The Dodgers maybe, but they're different. They're different in the rotation than everyone else. And that's why I think if you look at what team has an opportunity in the AL to take advantage of a lack of truly elite teams, which is absolutely the case in the AL, I think Seattle is the best bet in my mind to come out of that.
This is not going to be any kind of outrageous statement to make to end the show, but I think looking at these 4 series, and then I jump on DraftKings and I look at the odds for it. Winner Dodgers Phillies is your World Series winner.
Probably.
The Dodgers are plus 320 right now. Phillies are plus 475. That's your 1 and 2 favorite.
And Philly would probably be higher if they weren't facing the Dodgers.
Yeah.
So better odds.
Yeah. Those are your favorites right now for the World Series.
Of course, we thought that a couple years ago, and then you had the Diamondbacks and Rangers meet in the World Series, and Josh Jabor's turning a 5-year rate in the regular season into the greatest reliever in the postseason we've ever seen. So again, who knows?
First pitch of these games is 1 o'clock, 1:08, I should say,
on the 8th.
My kid was asking why, when he was looking at the times, he goes, "Why are they on the 8th?" I was like, "Advertising money, bud."
You got to get that stuff in.
It works.
You got to get the first, the intros, the quick commercial they paid a lot of money for. And then we'll get going.
And that's why this show brought to you by Gray Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs. And all content here on STL Sports Central is brought to you by DraftKings. The crown is yours. He's Ryan Fagan. I'm Joe Roderick. We'll talk to you next time.